What's going on, geeks? You're listening to episode 289 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Lj.Lowery, and with me tonight is Shelley Nollan.
Hello!
And Cody is out for tonight, getting some personal stuff taken care of. But we're here with the first episode of 2022.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, Happy New Year. It's been a few weeks, but we're excited to get back to recording the show and talking about all kinds of news and stuff.
Yeah.
This week we're going to be talking about mobile games and a lot of money involved there, and then some animated related news in the movies and TV realms. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
But we do have a lot of catching up and a lot of geeking out to do. Mm-hmm. So we will start off...
News might be slow, but we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we did find a few little news pieces in there. Yeah, so let's get to geeking out. What games have you been playing on our break?
So, I don't remember all the games. I think I've been playing a lot, but the ones I least want to talk about... Because, I'm always playing Smash, right, for example. But,
yeah.
In fact, that was something that was really fun between my husband and I. We completed every doubles classic mode in the game, so that was really fun. Cool. With all the DLC and everything, so that was a really good time.
I didn't know you could do doubles on there.
Yeah, you can. It's
that's cool.
Yeah, and it's really cool how every character has a unique classic mode too.
Yeah,
so it's a good time.
Yep.
So there's that, and but yeah, I'm always playing Smash, for example, but I bought Outer Worlds when it was on sale.
Ooh, yes, that's a good one.
And so I've been playing that, and that game's been pretty fun. It's interesting because it's I played it because I really was feeling like an RPG. I was like, I need an RPG to play.
That wasn't Persona?
I guess it needed to be something different. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I heard good things about Outer Worlds, and I know
it's got some BioWare vibes.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have always recommended Fallout to me. I know this game is fairly similar, very inspired by Fallout, but I've heard it's not as long and not as crazy, which honestly is in my benefit because I'm I can't just pick up another big series. And it got confirmed to a sequel, so I'm let's get it. So
and
I got that.
DLC.
Yeah, and I haven't gotten any DLC yet, but I may because this game is pretty fun. I played for a good 9-10 hours one day, then a couple more hours later, and a couple more hours later. I don't even know how far into I am in the story or anything, but what I really like about Outer Worlds is that it really does finally allow me to play and of course it's very D&D inspired, right? Because that's what these games are really kind of just inspired from D&D and games like that. So I just really like that I can finally play a character that I want to play as in D&D. I always like the rogues. I think rogues are super fun, but me as a person, I'm really bad at lying. I'm really bad at just being clever in that sort of way and being morally
charm
ambiguous.
And persuasion kind of stuff.
Yeah, the high charisma, but also the high dex sort of thing. Me as a person, I'm not very good at that. And granted, you don't have to be one way as a person to role play. That's half the fun of role playing is they get to be very different types of people than you are as a person. But at the same time, there are times where if I'm playing a rogue in a D&D campaign, for example, and I literally just can't think of how do I talk my way out of this, or how do I, whatever. It's I can't even begin to think of ideas, and so I kind of get stuck sometimes where I'm oh, I'm supposed to be this super high charisma character, or I'm supposed to be the face of the party, but I don't even know how to begin socializing with this person, or talking about this, or creating a convincing argument, that sort of thing. So, what I like about this game is that it'll let you know if you fail or succeed a check from the get-go. So
it's very heavy on that stuff,
which I like because I also if those options were always up, I would always just choose them anyway, probably, and just fail half of them. So I know it's the case in lots of other games. It's you always have that option, but you may pass or fail depending on how you roll, or if you're just not so high enough. But I like this game. It makes you feel really powerful and really smart, being oh yes, this lie, or oh yes, this like persuasion, this argument that like I as a person would never have thought of, but like I see it as an option in the game. I know I'm gonna pass the check anyway, and so then I'm able to like talk my way out of situations, or just like pay less money than I have to, or whatever. Just like get to do what I want, or get to see options I as a person would not have really thought about. So that's what I think is really cool about this game. Combat's fine. I'm always really bad at shooters, so I kind of took that realization. I was like, I'm pretty bad at shooters. We'll see how I do with this game. But I'm doing okay. It is just like kind of difficult for me just because I don't really play a lot of those types of games. But the roleplay and the characters, the party members are enough that I'm having a good time. And it's very comedic, which I like too. I think I prefer the sort of spacey, like I really like I was going to say world, but obviously there's multiple worlds, like the universes, I guess. Yeah. I just think it's such a fun concept. Fun, depressing, I should say. That like all these worlds are just taken over by corporations.
It's kind of got like a weird zaniness to it.
Exactly.
Like,
and it's just
silly,
like
but it's also depressing.
Exactly. And it's like kind of fun. I find that personally more interesting than just like a nuclear Fallout situation, which again, I know lots of Fallout fans are, love Fallout. I'm like happy for them, but I just feel like the actual environment I'm more drawn to, the atmospheres I'm more drawn to than other settings. But anyway, so I'm liking Outer Worlds. Who knows if I'll finish it? I've been starting so many games, especially on PS5. Like I got this one, technically PS4, but on my PS5. I've been starting so many games and not finishing them. Like I haven't finished Metroid Dread yet. It's kind of bad. But I got this for so cheap that I don't really care. It was only like $10-$20 or something for a $60 game. I'm like, yeah, that's worth it for me.
Yeah, it was pretty low on that sale.
Exactly. It was like one of the only games I got during all the big sales with both PlayStation and Steam. Like I didn't buy anything on Steam this year. It's crazy. So, but I'm like, hey, if it's fine if I start a lot of games, but I just need to always be watching. Like if I do buy a game, I need to play it, and so I only bought one game, and I am playing it. Yeah. So it's fine. Right?
That's good.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But besides that, like that's the major game, a new game I should say I've been playing. But I did try Mario Party Superstars recently with a friend. It was me, my husband, and a friend.
That one actually looks good compared to the previous one.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy is like I haven't played a Mario Party game since I don't know, the Wii. I played the Wii one, and I used to play like Mario Party DS all the time. Like that was the thing. Is like when I was in band in like middle school, we would take trips to like perform places or like do like concerts and stuff, and we'd all be on the bus, and like the first thing everybody does, there was like a whole group of us that did this, just take our DSs and everyone loads Mario Party and we just play Mario Party. We'd also do Mario Kart DS, and those were like the two of the games. So like I very heavily associate like Mario Party with that experience. But the problem is that like I really haven't had a good time with Mario Party since then. Like I played Mario Party on Wii a couple times, but then I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I like this. It's so unfair. And so you're like winning the whole time, then all of a sudden you've lost because of like bonus stars or whatever.
Yeah.
And it tears apart friendships and things.
It's not over until the final star count.
Exactly. So my friend, he's like, hey, I got Mario Party. You want to play with me? And I'm like, okay, but I'm not going to play to win. I'm going to play for chaos. And I'm going to play to just do whatever I want. And I'm not going to care about who, because if I'm a very competitive person. Like if I get too competitive about this, I'm just gonna end up disappointed and mad even if I win, like it's so I did that and we played, and it was actually quite fun. I think I abused the sticker system like so hard. Like I was spamming stickers the whole time. Like those are just so fun. Even if you're just playing locally with people, it's just so fun to spam the stickers. And yeah, we did a one round, or not one round, but like one Mario Party game. We did it on the Yoshi Island one, and it's cool because it's like, I think part of the reason the like other mini games of the other Mario Parties like were getting tiring is because they always were relying on that system's gimmick, right?
Yes,
it's like,
oh my gosh, the Wii U and even the Switch one, because I did play Super Mario Party once. Yeah, but yeah, like for the last years they've been relying on those gimmicks like you were saying.
Yeah, and it's just not that fun to shake a Wiimote or shake a Joy-Con or whatever.
Yeah.
And like I have tons of experience with the Mario Party DS games, and those were fun to me, but that's because I played it a ton, and I think I got used to them, and I still remember the cucumber slicing minigame. You just go blah, you destroy your DS in the process. My touchscreen's probably shot at this point just because of that.
That's okay. People destroyed their palms on the Nintendo 64 version, so...
Well, that's the thing, is that we played one of the minigames, because again, if people don't know, Mario Party Superstars is basically
it's
taking
a big
all the classic Mario Party levels, games, things like that, and throwing it into it's sort of remade them. So that's
the maps and all the mini games that would be nostalgic for me.
Exactly. So that's what's cool, and it's I never even played those old games really.
Yeah.
But there was one where you had to move the joystick like that, and it literally warned you. It said, "Please don't use the palm of your hand," and I was like, "What?" And because we're using GameCube controllers for this game, and what's also cool is that we could just do that because the mini games only require one or two a joystick and a button or something, and I didn't need a Joy-Con, I didn't need a Pro Controller, I didn't need anything like that, I didn't need a Wiimote, whatever. So that was also just a good thing. But yeah, I remember we got that minigame, and both my husband and I were oh, that seems silly. How else are we supposed to do it? And but that's what our friend said. He's yeah, back on the Nintendo 64, people hurt their hands and they would sue. And
I loved Mario Party 2. They had all the themed ones where they had a Western one where they were all dressed up in cowboy gear and stuff, and those were my favorites when they would change. I didn't play a ton on the GameCube, but those 64 days were most of my nostalgia comes from with that.
Yeah, it's just it was kind of refreshing just how painfully simple the games are. I don't know. Yeah. You just didn't have to think about it that much. You just see what's happening. You're oh yeah, I get it. You don't have to but you can
to me that would be comforting though, because there wouldn't be a ton of gimmicks like the other ones.
No, exactly. It was super nice. Yeah. It was just so refreshing, and you could still practice a little bit too.
They have the practice sessions. I
don't know, I just had a really good time. And so not only do we play a whole round on the Yoshi's Island course, I didn't win, and that's okay because I wasn't playing to win, I was playing to have fun, which is crazy in a game like that. But then we went to the minigame section, and we just did all the minigames.
Cool.
We did all of my friend's favorite 4-player ones, and then we did all of the 3v1s.
Some of those
we were
cool.
The 3, and we did there's a challenge mode where you can do it, and the one CPU gets harder and harder as they go on, and that was actually super fun because we were just planning and conniving and just okay, how are we going to do this? And I just didn't realize that was an option, and anyway, I wanted to mention that game. I don't own it. Again, it was just my friend who had it, but it was a surprisingly fun time. I would play again, which is not something, again, besides from those Mario Party DS days, I would not ever say about Mario Party. So something about this game, it's not nostalgia for me because I never played those original Mario Party games. It was all fresh and new to me. So
it just feels like it's back to basics.
It's back to basics. I think that's exactly it. It was we're taking it back to the heart and it's classic, and these classic games where it's you don't have to do a bunch of ridiculous stuff just to figure out what you're supposed to do. You just press the joystick forward, or press the A or B button a certain way, or you just mash buttons. That's also the thing. You just mash buttons. So those are just 2 games I wanted to talk about that I played. But what about you, LJ?
Cool. Before I talk about the big one, I think that you enjoy the most. I did beat I did beat Deathloop this weekend.
You got out of the loop?
Yes.
Nice.
Well, there's 2 endings. You can choose to basically stay or break it. Which are pretty cool. But basically, it's one of those games that's so intimidating. But I had a couple buddies that kind of encouraged me to get through it, and they gave me some tips and showed me where some really cool weapons were and stuff. And I played that game most of all of Friday and all of Saturday, and I beat it.
Sweet.
So that game's cool.
Did you do it on PS5 or PC?
PS5.
Nice.
So it was good. It was worth it. A lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
I literally played all day because I was just I was so close, and every bit of progress I made was okay, I'm getting there, and so I finally did. So super fun game. But the one I did put the most time into easily was, so I tested positive for COVID over Christmas. It was like right after, it was like right in between Christmas and New Year's. And so I was like, well, I guess I'm staying home from work, and we're going to restart our backlog golf thing this year. And I was like, okay, I really want to finish a JRPG this year. And it was like right before Christmas, actually, when I started Persona. And then I was like, okay, like I've already started it, and I'm just going to play it. And so now I'm like 35 hours into it. I'm almost to the third palace.
Nice.
So like when Makoto joins you and stuff like that. And it was one of those things where I think because I started the original, and so it felt like that first beginning kind of part, like the intro and tutorials and stuff, I felt like that went a lot quicker than it did the first time.
Oh, it does. Like, okay, they literally take stuff out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they literally take out a bunch of stuff. Like, I never played the original Persona 5, but my friend did, and we both played Royal. Like it was... Yeah, wow. You're not crazy. It wasn't just like, I did this before, so it went really fast. They literally, like, you're supposed to go to, like, the palace, like, multiple times.
Yeah, you go, like, 3 or 4 times or
but
something.
But in Royal,
ridiculous.
They just don't. They skip over a bunch of it because I think they knew it was like a quality of life change where they're like, they it's a bigger game, there's way more content, so therefore we need to cut stuff and we're going to cut some of this fluff, because that's basically what it was. So you're not crazy.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing, because I was like, wow, this feels like it went so much quicker.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool changes that I love about it, like the guns, how they basically give you, like, the ammo refills every battle.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, because now the guns are more of a tactic you can use.
Sure. Just big quality of life changes would have heard.
Yes, a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of cool stuff with that. I'm definitely going to get back to it soon. I just got on a Deathloop kick and finally finished that. And I was like, well, I can go back to playing Persona.
That game is so long.
Yeah.
As long as you have the right connections, you still have to get the social ranks with the right people.
Yes. So I know about all that stuff.
Nice.
So I'm working on that stuff. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be difficult, because I was like, ooh, that sounds like it's going to be a pain.
Yeah, it's fine. But I just, like, you still need to know, because, like, my friend who had played Persona 5 and then played Persona 5 Royal, he did not realize. He did not know. And so, like, he just did not get to the third semester. And I felt really bad, because I was like, oh,
because I feel like Kasumi's a big part of that, too.
Yeah.
Because I like how at first her thing only starts off at, like, 5.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, that's cool, because it's not as, like, intimidating.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I think it's gonna be pretty good. I'm going to get to that third one pretty easily, I think. Like, I looked it up because a buddy of mine had told me the same thing, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna make sure to do that, because that's like the full game experience. Mm-hmm. So a big reason why I wanted to play that was because Persona 5 Strikers is free on PS Plus right now.
Yes.
And when I heard that was coming because of the leaks, I said, ooh, I'm like, I need to go and finish Royal ASAP. And so
hopefully you get it done in time, because I don't know.
Oh, I grabbed it. Once you grab the game on PS Plus, like if you hit add to library, it's in your library as long as you're subscribed. So the nice thing will be that, like, whenever I get done with Royal, I can just go right into Strikers and just fuel my brain with all that good music and all that style. So
it's so good, and you're gonna like Strikers too. I think you're really gonna like Strikers.
Yeah,
it is one of those things where it's like you do just have to finish the game first, because it is a direct sequel.
Right.
Which is cool.
And then I heard weird things that it was like there was like Royal stuff that isn't connected to it or something.
There's nothing Royal connected in
That's
that
weird.
Game. It's all like I mean, for me it was kind of like, oh, like I played Royal in my head. That's like what happened. But there's a bunch of stuff that, like, they don't talk about and other things like that. So I think it works just get ignored way. Then. Okay. I think it works either way, but technically it is a sequel to Persona 5 and not.
That would be weird if there was like big plot things. I mean, which there probably is still, but like it would be weird if there was stuff missing. But it doesn't sound like it's too big of an issue.
No, you'll be fine.
Cool. So those are the things that I played, and we'll get into some light gaming news.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So the first kind of quote unquote controversy is that so the devs of Dying Light 2 Techland came out and said that apparently to complete everything in Dying Light 2 is going to take up to 500 hours.
500
and
hours.
That sounds like, when I heard that number, I'm like, that sounds like exaggeration.
That's like 500 hours is like, it's like
Even
Breath
Persona's
of the Wild, but it's like you must add all the DLC onto that and Master Mode as well. Like that's like even just a regular playthrough. Like I 100%, well 100%. I don't know what you just determine as 100%, but I did all of the shrines, and I still only did like maybe 100 hours or so.
Yeah.
So like 500 is absurd.
Yeah. So like I was like, you know what, that's got to be exaggeration, and just to be a little transparent, I'm probably getting a review copy of this game, and so that's why I was interested in it. The PR company has been sending me PR related stuff for this game for a while, and so I submitted my request in, and hopefully we'll get it. But I was already interested, and now I'm like, oh, like apparently this is going to be a massive game as far as like the mechanics, and I guess there's like RPG elements. I heard there's like almost like BioWare like related like relationship stuff and like different quests you can do. Like there's apparently it's a meaty game, so I was like, okay, like that's cool.
Yeah.
But then they dialed it back recently and said like, oh, like the main story is going to take you maybe 20 plus hours, like, and I was like, okay,
big difference.
So yeah, so I'm like, that's a wide gap. So if I was to guess, I think like you were saying with Breath of the Wild, it probably will take you 100 plus to do a lot of stuff in that game. But I don't think it's going to be any 500 hours.
500 is like that's the people who grind Minecraft all the time. They just play for fun, right?
Or like Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I was going to say Stardew Valley. It's like those are the games that reach 500 hours. It's not ones that have a incredibly concrete story. They do have story, right? But it's the ones where you could literally just keep building every single day. So.
Yeah. So
those games are great, but it's not Dying Light 2.
I was like, nah. I mean, I'm like, hey, at least they gained publicity, and some people will be like interested maybe, but then there's other people that are like, oh, I don't need games to be that long, which is true. We don't need games that length. But it kind of has me looking forward to seeing like, okay, like now like you guys need to, hopefully they talk the talk. I mean, if there is that much extra content, then I applaud them, but
hopefully it's just good content, because like not all content is good content, right?
Yeah,
you want 20 plus 500 hours of good, enjoyable stuff.
Yeah, the first one, I played the first one a lot, and it had a lot of good like collectible things, like different weapons you could grab, and a lot of side quests, and then even the like when that game had all its expansions, and that's one of those games that they still added content to over the years. So the first one, they had a lot of content. So.
Thank you.
I don't know. I would be fun to see, like, oh, like, is it that, is it really that long? But it doesn't need to be. But I just find it funny that they had to walk it back. So yeah, that's Dying Light 2. Good on them for getting the publicity, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the second one is going to be more relevant to more people, I think. But Take-Two, the company that owns 2K Games and Rockstar, I guess they're set to acquire the company Zynga, the like mobile game, Facebook game company, for $12.7 billion.
So
that is a lot of money.
Yeah. So Take-Two, when L.J. told me about this news, I definitely assumed It Takes Two, like the devs or something. I'm like, wait a second, I thought they were an indie company. No, it's different. It's different.
And then so I proceeded to mention that so before the Game Awards, I guess Take-Two actually sued them because apparently Take-Two has some kind of copyright for their own name. So I guess It Takes Two was confusing enough to at least somebody for that to be legitimate. So I guess maybe you're not the only one who gets thrown off when the two are mentioned.
Yeah, totally.
In the same so I don't know, but Zynga is known for. So this is gonna trigger some people. Farmville.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, Farmville's the one where it's like so and so is sending you a request or so on Facebook, and then that's where like those game request things came from. My favorite meme is the Medea meme where she has like a Glock and she's like, send me another game request. But they're also known for things like Draw Something and then Words with Friends, which Words with Friends is legitimate.
That's a big one.
That's a good one. And then they're also working on, I think it's called Star Wars Hunters, which is like, it looks like some new like arena shooter that's coming out to Switch and mobile this year. Which is kind of odd. That game looks fun, but it's free to play mobile stuff. But yeah, that's huge. I don't know what they're going to do with that company yet. But that's a lot of money. $12 billion is crazy.
Yeah, so, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I think of how, like, apparently Farmville is still a thing. They developed, like, I saw ads for, like, a third one somewhere recently, and I was like, I thought Farmville was dead, but...
Farmville never dies.
Nope. Nope, they're just harvesting all the money they can out of people. But anyway.
That's funny.
Yeah, and then Take-Two decided, hey, we want that money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is it for the gaming news. Some light stuff for sure. Nothing.
I was gonna say, I feel like things have kind of been taking a big pause, which will go into our movie news.
Yeah,
everything is just sort of like on hold. Like, and what's happening?
It's the new year. It's the
new
year too.
It's the new year.
Yeah.
I feel like, post holiday season, right?
Yeah.
Like everything kind of everyone kind of takes a deep breath and is like, okay, we got a new year to worry about. What do we do now? No big releases for a second,
Yeah, we'll get all that in February for gaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's talk about some movies we watched. What are some movies you watched?
So we watched me and my husband. When I say we watched all the Hobbit movies. Not all in a row.
Ooh.
We watched them for 3 days in a row, and nice. I had seen the first Hobbit already. But I remember, I watched it when it first came out, and I've read The Hobbit. I've read Lord of the Rings, but I've read The Hobbit. And so I really liked the first one. I remember that. But then I remember seeing trailers for the second one, and the
second one's really good.
And I remember, I feel like the second one, maybe I just never got around to it, but I think I got confused when I saw Legolas, in the trailers and stuff.
Oh,
and I was like, Legolas is not in The Hobbit. What are they doing? This is really weird. And then I kind of heard that they were just throwing a bunch of stuff from not in the book in there. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm interested. And then the third trailers came out and I'm like, who is this lady? What is going on? I don't get it. So I didn't watch kind of because of that. But now, Daniel kind of convinced me. He's like, let's watch through all of them because we have time to kill. So first one's still really good. Second one is also quite good.
I've not seen the third one.
The third one's not great. It's not bad. It was still entertaining. It's just kind of unfortunate that it gets worse as the movies go on. Whereas the Lord of the Rings get better as they go on. It's crazy. I mean, they're all kind of great.
I guess I like the second one for Smaug, and that he's voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch.
That was super. That whole sequence, that whole scene,
I think that's why I like that movie so much.
Which is fair. Yeah, that was awesome. I think it's just crazy because it's I genuinely feel like the movies were carried. Martin Freeman must have an injured back for how hard he carried those movies. Because he was just so on point the whole time.
Yeah, he
all
was really good.
Movies, anytime he was on screen, I'm just like, this is Bilbo, dude. This is so good. He has so much characterization, and all this stuff, which is just it's so much personality, which was so fun to see. Honestly, more personality than Frodo at times, I would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just a difference in acting styles, whatever. It's obviously no. Elijah Wood was great. But still, it's he carried the movies. That's all I'll say. And, Ian McKellen, Gandalf was still really great too.
Oh, yeah.
It was just, I just think it was so funny how it's like, he just clearly looked so much older. And then you got Legolas, where it's like, Orlando Bloom also clearly looked older, but they're supposed to be younger. And it's just, like,
pretty cool.
Kind of fell apart where they, like, kept trying to throw in stuff from Lord of the Rings.
It's like, oh, you remember this thing? Or it's like, here's this thing.
Exactly. And it just was kind of annoying, because it's like, you know, The Hobbit was written first anyway. And it just ended up becoming Lord of the Rings and becoming a prequel for Lord of the Rings. But, you know, it was a separate thing kind of entirely, like, and, you know, all the stuff with the ring, like, at that point, was just a regular ring. And I understand throwing in, you know, stuff, you know, mentioning Sauron kind of in relation. Like, that's fine. That makes sense to me. But
foreshadowing,
I think they pushed the foreshadowing too hard, because you have to realize there are 60 years between The Hobbit, or at least, like, the beginning of The Hobbit even. I don't even think by the end of The Hobbit. There's 60 years between then and Fellowship. And they sort of like, I'm sorry if this is considered spoilers, it's kind of like mentioned both the second and third movie, so anyone who didn't, you know, watch them, but it's like they just, Sauron shows up, like, is like very prevalent in some ways, and it's just kind of strange, because then for some reason, like, it didn't really make a lot of sense to me, but they don't consider him like an entirely huge threat by the end of it, and they're just like, oh, like, I would think they'd want to deal with him immediately. But they're like, oh, he's around, but we're not going to deal with it immediately. And then obviously Fellowship comes up and...
Wink, wink.
Exactly. Then Fellowship comes up and you got Gandalf, who's like researching the ring. And because he doesn't know the extent of it, and researching all this stuff, like, you know, and, you know, knows about Sauron stuff. But you know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like it didn't quite work. And they also mention... and I wouldn't consider this a spoiler either, because, like, this is, like, it's not plot. It's just more stuff.
The movie's been around for a while,
it's more fluff thrown in. They mention Strider. Because, like, like, they tell Legolas, like, hey, you need to find this Strider guy. And so, like, on one hand, it's kind of like, oh, look, they're mentioning this character I like. I should like this, right? No. Freaking Aragorn is, like, 82 or something in the Lord of the Rings movies, which obviously, like, he's part elf, and that's why he looks much younger. But even then, considering that, he's still only in, like, his 20s or something when the Hobbit's around. So why is he that, like, why is Legolas trying to fight him now? And does that mean Legolas and him were friends for, like, that whole 60 years? And, like, what were they doing? And why was, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It is kind of annoying how they spent so much time, trying to connect it to Lord of the Rings, and also just, here's the thing, I really like Legolas in the Lord of the Rings movies. These movies made me dislike him. Not entirely. Like, I still like him, but they dampened his character for me, because they just had way too much screen time with him, just doing nonsense. And then
it's like, let's throw this character in here because he's a popular character.
Exactly. They're just like, oh, everyone likes this character, so we're gonna make him do a bunch of stuff. It's like, I don't care. Go back to Bilbo. Go back to the characters I actually, like, care about that are part of these, you know, the Hobbit, right? The Hobbit. Yeah. Like, the dwarves and stuff. Like, I care more about them.
The dwarves are great, yeah.
And, but for some reason, they just did so much with him, and then they brought in this lady elf, which, like, cool, because these movies, at least the last two, I don't know about the first one, actually passed the Bechdel test, which the Lord of the Rings do not, which is super funny.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, and they pass them with flying colors. So, like, that's cool. But also, like, why did they try to make a romance thing with her and one of the dwarves? Like, so, like, they're just, like, they make this thing where it's like, oh, is she gonna be with, like, Legolas, or is she gonna be with this dwarf guy? And I'm like, I don't care. Also, why can't she just, like, exist as, like, a female elf, you know, like, doing stuff? Like, it's so weird to me. They put way too much time on that. You know, I know I'm getting all ranty, but
because I liked that character, and I liked the actress.
Yeah, it's Wasp. It's just like, that was my first. I like recognized, like, oh, it's Evangeline Lilly. It's Wasp, which is super funny. And she acts well. Like, she does a great job acting. It's just not written well. And
just the way they wrote her. Yeah.
And I'm like, why is this here? Like, it's so unnecessary. So I think in the future, I might, if I feel like watching Hobbit, I might watch the fan edit version. There's apparently a fan edit version out there that cuts out all the fluff, and it only includes stuff from the book.
Oh, cool.
Because all the stuff that was in the book It was awesome. The only thing I would say they added stuff from the book that made it better was that they gave Bard a lot of characterization, and you cared about Bard. Because in the book, he was just a guy who ended up killing Smaug, and no one knows who he was, and he was just a guy. But then in the movies, they're like, hey, he's a character, and they make you care about him, which is great. And I think that was a good move. But besides that, they just threw in all this nonsense that, like, just doesn't make sense. And also, it was just kind of weird in some ways to see them use CGI. There's just that main orc guy, I don't even remember his name, but it's like, why did he have to be pure CGI? Could he have done...
because the original movies were very practical.
And, there's still a lot of practical effects in a lot of this, but it's like, I think they relied a little too heavily on CGI, at least with some of the characters. Like, they got the big wolf guys, like, in that first movie, and they got some other effects where it's like, it makes way more sense for them to use CGI for these, smaller things, but, I just didn't like how they made entire characters that were purely CGI, or at least they looked purely CGI. There was also a character in the last movie that just was very clearly, mostly CGI, and it was really off-putting because it's this dwarf guy and he's talking to all the other dwarves that are made with practical effects, and it's just very strange. It's like, you got this orc guy who's CGI talking to non-CGI orc guys, and then you got the or the CGI dwarf talking to the non-CGI dwarves. It's just kind of strange.
It takes you out of it when you see that stuff interact with each other.
Yeah, it's just a little bit awkward. And then there were some times where it just especially when it was that orc, he would be talking to, I don't know, the dark forces or whatever, I don't know. There were scenes where it literally looked like a cutscene from Shadow of War or something. Where I'm this doesn't look like a movie, this looks like a video game. Wow. Which I know if Cody was here, he'd be like, that's a good thing. But I personally was not a huge fan of it, because again, it didn't look like I was watching...
Especially with a series that has such a pedigree,
Exactly. So that was the one, one complaint I had. I have a couple complaints, but I still really enjoyed them, and Martin Freeman really did a great job, and Benedict Cumberbatch, and Ian McKellen, and honestly, they all did a really good job. Even Orlando Bloom, he did a good job as acting.
It sounds like a lot of the writing and a lot of the decisions they made were just off-putting.
Exactly. So again, I might watch a fan in it in the future that just has the stuff from the book, without all the weird fluff. There's just so much weird fluff inside stuff where I'm watching and I'm like, what is going on? But it's still entertaining. It's still fun. So at least there's that. But anyway, I watched those movies. I also watched Encanto.
Yeah, cool.
Because you watched that, right?
Yeah. I watched most of it. We had my nephew over, so there's plot details I probably missed somewhere, but
gotcha.
it was a fun time. The music was so good.
That was
It's good.
It's crazy because it's I guess I was expecting it to be good, because I was gonna say, I wasn't expecting it to be good. That's not true. I actually was expecting it to be good because I heard that it was really good. And what's crazy is that I don't remember, I saw just some tweet mentioning it, so it made me think. There's been so much more fan art for Encanto, especially after its Disney Plus release. After it wasn't just in theaters.
That was kind of a surprise drop too, because it was in theaters for a month, and it's now it's on Disney Plus.
Which thank goodness. And again, that's going to relate to movie news, transitioning to that. But so especially after that dropped on Disney Plus, because that's how I watched it, right? I didn't go to theaters or anything.
Yeah, my nephew actually, and my sister, they went to see it in theaters. And it was just one of those things I never cared to watch in theaters, so it was exciting to have it there.
I don't think I needed to watch in theaters at all. Disney Plus felt it felt right there. But yeah, there's just so much more fan art and so much more community stuff regarding this movie. It's almost to the not the crazed, insane level that Frozen was, but a baby version of that, a sensible version, I should say. Because Frozen, sorry guys, it's not that good. I don't love it that much. I like Encanto a lot more. Personally at this point. So I just think that's really cool. It's just so much more engagement than Raya and the Last Dragon, for example. Raya and the Last Dragon, I didn't see much fan art or community stuff about that at all, because it was so mediocre. It was kind of
bland. Yeah, mediocre is a good word.
It was disappointing, I think is the best way for me to phrase it. But Encanto was it was just so surprising and so refreshing because they really just broke a lot of rules. Not rules, I should say, just trends that they've done. Like, so many Disney movies are like, and it's good to have this representation.
Yep.
But so many Disney movies are like, oh, the single parent or the tragic, parents died doing something, or whatever, and then then this one character kind of has to do something, and a lot of times there are interaction with a family member or something. Yeah. There's connection with a family member that becomes really, like Frozen, for example. You got the sister sister relationship, which is actually quite good. That's a good part of that movie, in both those movies, the first and second. But I really liked how this movie, it was all about family. Every major character in that movie was a family member. Yeah. And it all, I'm so used to, that's the character has to go on this big journey to do something, which sometimes works really well, like Moana.
This one was very contained, though, which was good.
Yeah, Moana worked really well for that, because it seemed like that made sense to me, but I feel like a lot of times it's still oh, this character's going on this journey for kind of no reason. But then, you got Mirabelle, who's just discovering stuff in the house. It's just going around the house. Everything takes place in the house. It's so, or the village, but it's so cool. Also, I do want to have a little plus, a little thumbs up for this movie as well, for having good Catholic representation.
Yeah.
They had a church there, because we were this is Colombia, everyone's gonna be freaking Catholic, where's the churches? And then he got a church there. I'm haha, cool, we got this guy. And it wasn't weird or rude, he was literally just there existing, which I'm cool, that's all I need. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, that movie was really good. It's crazy how it's besides maybe we don't talk about Bruno, I feel none of the songs are sticking in my head. At least none that I could sing along to, because I don't really, I don't know Spanish. I took 3 years in high school, but I don't remember any Spanish.
It's one of those things I'll have to rewatch again, because there's just a lot of details I missed. But I feel most of the songs were from just the way they were designed and composed and everything were seemed really good. I don't remember a lot of them either, the words to a lot of them, but there was some where I'm ooh, that's good.
It was just so obviously Lin-Manuel Miranda, which is really funny, because I have mixed feelings about that man, but you could tell oh yeah, this is not just, it's not just music made for a Disney musical. It is music that is written for a proper musical. At least most of the songs. Yeah. Maybe there's a couple poppy ones that I was kind of eh. But the lyrics, in the storytelling with the songs, were really on point. As a musical fan, I care a lot about that. I'm I need to have these songs, make sense and have a place in the part. And they, they followed all those rules. They had an I Want song. They had all this stuff. So it's that's cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just thought it was really good until the very end. But it didn't ruin it for me. I don't know if people who have seen it maybe know what I'm talking about. I feel they could have ended it one way.
I'm trying to remember, because I feel there really wasn't an end almost. Because I watched it, but I was just okay, I don't know what happened there.
Well, yeah, and I think there was a decision made where... Yeah. And again, I'm going to be as vague as possible. There's a decision made where, it could have been left one way, but they decided to go a different direction, and I disagree with that direction that they took. But it was literally the end of the movie, and at that point, I enjoyed the rest of the movie so much that I didn't really, I'm not going to give it that much flack, because I enjoyed the rest of the movie, but it was kind of I feel it would have been stronger if they went with the original direction instead of the other one. Personally, I feel it would have been a stronger story, cohesively, but whatever. That's the decision. That's what they wanted to do. I feel I am... Anytime magic comes into play in anything, in any medium, I want to know the rules, and I want to know so why is this, and when is this, and where is this, and how is this? They
never explained any of that, did they?
No, they explained nothing.
Okay.
So
maybe that's why I felt a little lost on some things.
Oh yeah. they make these, they say these rules, or oh, this happened, and this is how this works. But then and again, this is the premise of the movie. I don't think it's a spoiler. The whole thing is that every at least most members of this family, and that's the thing. Not even every member of this family. Only most members of this family have a gift. all the children, I should say, the younger generation, everyone in the younger generation and some in the older generation have a gift that are given to them. And the main character does not have a gift. And so that's the premise of the movie. And you see that in the trailers. That's not a spoiler. But it's like, okay, cool. So they established this rule, a rule that was broken. And again, sorry if this is considered spoilers to you. They never really explained that. They never really explained like what happened. So it's like, and I get like maybe they wanted to emphasize certain aspects of the story way more than that, than like answering that question. And I can respect that, but for me, I'm also like, I still want to know because I'm just a curious person. Like it could have been this was the right move, but I'm still kind of like, I want to know. But I guess I'll just have to go to fan fictions for that or something.
Yeah, I saw a cool theory on TikTok where they're saying like basically like Maribel is like the one who's supposed to take over for the grandma in the future, which I thought was cool.
Oh, I like that. See, even something settles out. Like, okay, I'm happy with like a theory.
Yeah, like that. Okay, I was like, oh, that would be really cool. Like that would make sense.
Yeah. But yeah, that is the other thing.
I need to watch it again.
Is that like the character Mirabelle is so cool and awesome and interesting, and she's like great. But also, it's just wild to me where it's like she faces so much like discrimination within her own family. But she's not even the only one who doesn't have gifts. Like the folks who married into the family don't have gifts. Yeah. And it's like, well, then why is she getting so much crap? But whatever, that's just a small point.
I think it's maybe because she was born into it, but
I guess so. But like, really, is that all that matters? But maybe for them, it does. That's their family dynamic. So I think it was just really cool to see and explore like their extreme family dynamic, because they don't just like introduce, like they do introduce a bunch of stuff to you. In
and
really
you see what the other members are going through in the process of having those gifts too.
And I thought the messages were all just like so on point too, because like with the sisters, like what they were going through. I've heard lots of people described as like, oh, like, you know, people who are described as like gifted children, for example. People who are like, you know, always said like, oh, you're so mature for your age, or you're so whatever. And like these kids like get forced on more responsibilities or more expectations and like all this pressure. And that could be really damaging. Especially it's not something you really realize until you're older and you're like, you know, adult, and like all of a sudden if you're average, that's not good enough. And other things like that, and experiencing that burnout. That's something I feel like I can relate to a lot too, personally, in some ways. So I really liked that message. And I'm a younger child, but I'm sure this is going to speak to a lot of middle children out there.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's really exciting. And yeah, just people who have really big families. I just think it's really cool. Very cool representation in this movie. Very cool ideas. I just really like this movie. I really like it. So
yeah, it's good. It's worth a watch.
I was gonna say maybe you should rewatch it at least once. It's on Disney.
Yeah. I didn't realize we were this far into the podcast, but let's keep rolling on. If we talked about that movie for a good while, but it was worth it.
Sorry, it's also because I ranted about the Hobbit movies for just so long.
Yeah. Oh, that's right too. No, it's cool though. This is good.
Did you watch anything?
Yeah, so I did watch. I'm not going to talk about it too much because I think most people already know how I feel by now, especially on social media. But I watched The Matrix Resurrections over the break.
Oh, that's right.
Oh my gosh, I was so close to turning it off because it tries so hard, and I understand this movie has mixed views, and some people like it, some people are right there with me. It tries so hard to parody like the idea of like nostalgia, like targeting nostalgia and things like that, you know, like the stuff that Hollywood has been guilty for that we've talked so much about over, I feel like, what is the last couple of years. It tries so hard to parody that it becomes the very thing that it's trying to parody. And it's just like the more I think about it, like I feel like the back half of the movie, and like when it actually gets into like the free your mind kind of stuff, when Neo is actually like starting to learn about like you know what's really going on,
doing actual better. Matrix things, like that's the whole thing in the Matrix.
It gets a little bit better. Like even Neo himself is like, Keanu Reeves doesn't seem like he's interested in being there at all.
Interesting.
But like when the plot moved forward, it got better. But I was just like, man, this is rough.
It's everything I would hate.
Yes, it totally is, and it feels like it feels like Space Jam, but like worse in a way. Like
that's what I've heard people say, which is crazy.
Yeah,
like I would never think, but
yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, it's like they're blatantly targeting that.
It's rough.
Space Jam thought it was trying to be clever, and so did The Matrix, but they both did not succeed.
It's like Ready Player One wasn't amazing, but at least it came from an idea that made sense.
Yeah,
and then you have
an
Space
idea
Jam
that was
2
already a thing.
Yeah, so that's unfortunate.
And then The Matrix was just trying to target all of Hollywood and became the very thing it tried to target. But
Rip.
I'm not going to say much more. I guess we can mention the other two news pieces for movies.
Oh, for sure.
Get into movie news.
Yeah. So I did mention Encanto. I do very much believe that it got way more popular and really took off after everyone was able to watch it from Disney Plus. So I actually think it's kind of a good sign that Turning Red, their next Pixar movie coming out, is not even going to be in theaters. It's just going to Disney Plus, and I think that's a twofold. Maybe they're seeing the success with Encanto on Disney Plus. I think also they're maybe realizing maybe they shouldn't throw a bunch of big movies in when theaters are, still potentially dangerous.
The rise in COVID is not helping things, but also Encanto may prove that it's a good move.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and I think it's a good move. I'm sure they're salty about it because they're like missing that theater money.
Pixar has been missing that theater money for a while now. I kind of feel bad for them, but also I feel like their movies have been perfect Disney Plus movies.
For sure, yeah. It's like I hope the creators are getting enough money.
Yes.
Because the thing is, I always assume that it's just big Disney getting all the money. So
yeah, it probably is, unfortunately. But Turning Red specifically, this is a movie that I'm like, oh, that looks fun, but I'm not gonna go see it. But now that it's on Disney Plus, I will definitely watch it for sure.
Exactly. I feel like, again, everyone's always like, oh, when it's all over. Probably it'll never be over. I don't know. But whenever theaters are legitimately safe enough to go back to, I feel like even then, I don't know if I'm going to go to a theater to see a Pixar movie. Like, I feel like I'm so used to just watching it from Disney Plus, like this stuff. Which I maybe am a hypocrite because I'm all for, like, supporting animation over live action, but at the same time I feel like I don't know.
I think it's important to pick and choose because, like, with The Matrix, I could have seen that in theaters very easily, but I was like, nah, I don't have high hope. I don't have a good feeling about this movie, though I was excited for it.
Yeah.
So I watched it on HBO Max. But something like Batman, which will also be coming to HBO Max in March, I'm going to go see that one in theaters because that's like a theater-worthy movie. Like, that's a big movie.
Yeah, I think it has to do with, like, they are really different environments. And, like,
also,
family movies...
stay safe at the same time.
Yeah. Family movies are just fun to watch at home with the family because then you don't have to worry about, like, the chaos of theaters and, like, if you have screaming children, your screaming children will at least be in your own home instead of, like, in the theaters. Whereas,
you
like,
can pause it if you need to, and
the big, like, cinematic stuff. It kind of makes sense, like Dune, right? I've heard a lot of people say, like, oh, Dune is a theater watch.
I wish I would have seen that in theaters.
Exactly.
That's one I did the opposite on.
So I don't know, like, and that's the thing too is I do know, just generally speaking, a lot of animation is going to be targeted more towards children than live action, just in general.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, maybe we need to find a middle ground with, like, I want to support animators, but at the same time there is, like, a environment that surrounds you when you go into a theater that caters really well to some movies and just not as effectively with others. So I think it's fine to state that.
There's an experience there that needs to live on too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
With that, let's talk about how Morbius was delayed again. I don't know how many times we brought this up, but it's happening.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say, I feel like the COVID experience, or like the COVID thing with this one, just happens to be like timing, but it's more because of Spider-Man. Because I've been seeing that Spider-Man is going to play in theaters at least until the end of January.
Exactly. So
so I think that's why Morbius got pushed back, but also COVID.
Yeah, it's kind of... I definitely can understand sort of both ways, too.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of crazy, because you would almost think that, like, you know, Morbius is showing up in... At least when I watched No Way Home, I saw Morbius, the trailer, before that movie. Yeah. So it's like, on one hand, I feel like they're going towards the same audience, and, like, it could be... You know, if they kept in theaters, I don't think it would have been too bad, unless you take COVID for example. But, because there's a lot of people who've seen No Way Home already, and, like, they're already hyped up about Spider-Man things, and, like, Morbius is still technically a Spider-Man thing, even though it's not MCU. So, like, that's one thing, but at the same time, maybe it is probably smarter to wait until the No Way Home thing has sort of crashed, and not crash and burn, I don't know if that's the right phrase, but just, like, run its course.
When they end that marketing cycle. Exactly,
and so maybe it'll be better, so then they'll be able to just be in theaters and kind of just be there instead of have to compete with a big Disney thing.
Yeah.
Which, again, a lot of Disney stuff's going to Disney Plus now. So, probably smart on their end, I think.
But that's still Sony, though, which is weird with Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man is still a Sony movie. Mm-hmm. So, like, we won't be seeing Spider-Man on Disney Plus at all.
For sure, that is true. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Morbius is delayed again, I think, till April this time. We'll see if it gets delayed again. It's like, I feel like, I think this movie has been delayed more than Black Widow. I might be wrong.
They're calling it the newest New Mutants, because that New Mutants movie was delayed so many times as well.
Oh my gosh, it's all these big superhero movies that keep getting delayed. Because again, they want it has to be in theater for that theater experience, I guess. But anyway, kind of sad a little bit, but at the same time pretty unsuitable. Again, like, at least, even take away the No Way Home stuff, probably still kind of a good thing. I think
with the
Omicron's
rising
going
cases
crazy right now, so
yes.
Yeah. That's our movie news.
Yep. All right, cool. We'll get into TV then. What have you been watching in the TV realm?
Yeah, I won't go off like I did for the other stuff. I did finish Hawkeye. I think I don't think I mentioned it since we recorded last, and Hawkeye's fine. We did
talk about some stuff about Hawkeye in the Spider-Man spoiler cast, but that was it. Yeah,
I just don't remember talking about it. But anyway, no, I mean it's fine. I don't even know if I have anything to say about it. Honestly, it was just kind of fine. It was kind of mid-tier. It was a mid-tier show, I think. So that's it.
Cool.
I did watch Cobra Kai season 4 though.
Yes, I watched it in 2 days.
We watched it in probably like 4 days or so. Like, it was over the span of a week. That show is crazy.
It definitely ended in a different note than I would expect. We won't get into spoilers, but by the end of that show, I was just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they definitely got me hooked.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's so dramatic. It's so
cheesy.
Everyone is so stupid. Everyone is so stupid. Especially
if everyone would just have a good talk.
Yeah. Like, if everyone had communication skills, which, again, I understand Johnny doesn't, and he's a great character for that. Everyone else... They don't have excuses. Maybe the high schoolers, but like you could still only do so much on the like, oh, they're just immature.
Even the mom is kind of like, she's kind of has like motivations that like aren't quite right now either. So it's like
crazy. It's like I like some things going on, I don't like other things going on. I will say, the one thing that's been really truly surprising about Cobra Kai is how I keep trying to predict stuff that will happen, and somehow it doesn't happen. I keep getting surprised, which is crazy. They flipped the formula so many times, which is nuts. So I will give it that. And I'm definitely still going to keep watching, but it's just such a crazy show. Like, why does this show exist?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm curious to see where they're going to go next with it, because I'm just like, okay.
Me too.
Y'all... They took me down a road I didn't expect, and now I'm just like, okay, what are you going to do next?
For sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's all very interesting, all very dramatic.
There's a scene that made me laugh so hard. We'll have to talk about it on our podcast chat, but because there was a scene where I go, wait, did that just happen? And it was just the dumbest thing ever. But we won't talk about it here.
Certainly a show to laugh at, but I just get so frustrated with some of these characters, man. I'm like, oh my gosh, y'all are so stupid. Just like, especially the adults. It's like, again, I'll take a grain of salt with the children. Like, they're also, a lot of them are pretty stupid.
They're also sometimes a lot more smarter than the adults.
Absolutely.
Like,
again, like I there's scenes.
Like you should pay attention to these kids, even though they're fighting each other. They still do some good things.
Like some of them, like I can think of an example, but I guess would be a spoiler where it's like, you think this man's going to choose violence, and then he doesn't, and you're like, oh, character development. Look at this. This is great. This is good. But yeah, the adults, I'm like, y'all are stupid, and I love Johnny enough that like kind of whatever he does, like I'll be happy with it just because I think he's such a fun character. He makes sense, and he makes sense. But Danny, like, I'm like, bro, you have zero excuses. You have no excuses to be this much of a dingus. Yep. So and you just kind of have to roll with it. Yeah. Also, the other LaRusso kid, bro, I won't touch on him anymore. But oh my gosh, anyone who watches the season probably knows exactly how I feel. I'm just mad.
Yeah.
I'm just frustrated. So.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing a spoiler cast with my friends at the Mountain Nerds pretty soon on the show. So I think that'll be in February. But that'll be something for people to look forward to if they want full spoilers. So sweet. Yeah. Cool. So I did watch Cobra Kai also, obviously. The other thing I watched that isn't like, I feel like it's still good because it's a good quality, but. So I watched the first 2 episodes of Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, I haven't even watched Boba Fett yet.
It's good because of the quality, but it's like I feel like the plot and things like that haven't really moved a ton. Like I mean, they definitely go into Boba Fett as a character and things about the past and where he ended up, and the big thing is like how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, because it's Mandalorian season 2 spoilers, obviously he shows up, so it's like that's where he ended up in Return of the Jedi. So there's it does cover that stuff, and it covers the where he's going after season 2 of Mandalorian. But I just feel like it hasn't moved enough yet for it to be like, oh, I need to watch the next episode. Like kind of in the way like Marvel has a way of finishing out an episode and making you go, oh, I can't wait till next week. This one hasn't quite reached that level yet for me, but it's good for what it is so far.
Nice. That's good.
So yeah,
I've heard people are saying it's pretty good. So
yeah, it's still good, but it doesn't have the wow factor yet, I don't think.
I might just wait until it's all out or something, because like personally,
so far that might be good.
Yeah, I'm like Mandalorian was like one of the first like Disney Plus shows. And so that was like, it was really easy to start watching it and get really hooked. But I think at this point, I'm like, okay, I can be more selective. And also, like, I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Boba Fett fan. I'm not the one, like, he has kind of a cult following, and I'm just not one of those people. So I'm like,
I almost feel like there's no reason for that cult following either, because he's a character that had no development in the movies.
Yeah.
Maybe people who read comics or books or something from like back in the day, maybe. But also, I think he was just a cool action figure toy that a lot of the older fans were into because he looked the coolest. So there's really not a lot to the character until now. So I don't think anyone's as big of a Boba Fett fan as they might say they are, to be honest. But this show will give us a lot of that development and stuff. So yeah, that's Boba Fett as much as I can say anyway. We'll get into some bits of TV news. Nothing major here. First thing I feel like is the biggest is definitely the biggest. Scott Pilgrim anime is in development.
That seems like it fits right in.
Yes,
that makes sense.
Yeah, and so it's from the writer, the creator of Scott Pilgrim is writing the show and executive producing it.
Nice.
It's from Studio Science Saru, who's known for Star Wars Visions, and they've done some stuff in Star Wars Visions and some other things.
Heck yeah.
I believe they've done. I don't know if they're responsible for like Astro Boy and all that.
Oh, that episode.
Yes, I think that's the episode they did in Star Wars Visions.
Nice.
But I feel like that might be them. It's, I guess it's coming to Netflix. It doesn't sound like it's been pitched as it's been pitched as a full show, but it hasn't been picked up yet.
Okay.
So I guess the creator and another director are going to be the showrunners officially when it does get developed into a full show. But yeah, that fits the book. Or, the books have a good style. The video game even adapted that style.
Totally makes sense. Totally fits.
And people love that movie if they've never read the books. So it'll do well, I think, if it happens. But yeah, it should be good. And then the other thing is just kind of really cool to see. But the original voice actor for Wolverine, he goes by the name of Cal Dodd.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds like a Star Wars name almost. But he's shared an image of him recording voice work for X-Men 97, which is the new X-Men cartoon coming to Disney+. So that's exciting. They have said that there are original voice actors from the show. I think they confirmed a few of them, but I don't know. I don't think that he was one of the confirmed stars. So he's coming back, which is exciting. That Wolverine voice is iconic, as many of the others. Unfortunately, the voice actor who played Cyclops passed away, so we won't be getting him back unless they've already done some recording, but I doubt it. Yeah, so that's some cool stuff in the animation world that we've been talking about, and yeah, that's it for TV news.
Sweet. Well, we still managed to make it an hour.
Yeah, no, I knew we were gonna have a lot of geeking out to do. There's a lot to catch up on there. So we'll catch up with Cody next week and find out what he's been geeking out about, because I'm sure he's got a lot too.
Yep.
So, anything else before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I'm watching Awesome Games Done Quick this week. So
Sweet.
It'll still be going on by the time this episode comes out, I'm pretty sure. So tune in to Twitch and watch if you're interested.
Yep.
It's fun. So
yeah, super fun stuff to watch. Yeah, alrighty then. I'm not geeking out about anything else. Where can they find you at on social media?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24. You can find me streaming Tuesday nights, twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace. I am working from home again, so I may be able to start streaming earlier.
Okay.
So
cool.
I might try that out even this week. Doing a little bit of an earlier one, I say earlier, it's sort of more back on time. But we'll see how it ends up. But I am still streaming Persona 4 Golden, which is still super duper fun. So, yeah.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at WarHeroLJ. I'll be having a new job here pretty soon, so I'm going back to our usual time as well, because I was doing the opposite. I was doing earlier streams on Fridays, but so now I'm moving back to our usual time again. Twitch.tv/Geeks Under Grace on Fridays for me. I'm streaming Kenna Bridge of Spirits. So
heck yeah.
Yeah. Fun times over there on the Twitch channel. And everywhere else. So
sure.
Alrighty. That's it for today. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye everyone.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.